Base down to the ground. Take a look at the satellite picture and how the clouds are moving. We have had some clouds move through the region overnight and through the early morning hours, but now, as you can see, lots of clear skies across Kentucky and nothing threatening from our west. We're going to have some nice weather on into the day tomorrow. And with that sunshine, temperatures warming up nicely. Upper 60s to low 70s. A warm spot Paducah at 75 degrees, 72 at Fort Knox. Sunset this evening is at 8:42. Currently, it is 73 in Louisville. Dry, 27% humidity. We have a northwest wind at 9 miles per hour and the pressure rising at 30.12. Yesterday's high 75. We'll eclipse that today. 52 was our low this morning. No precipitation the past 24 hours. Weather map for this afternoon. High pressure's in charge. We had a cold front come through last evening, brought a band of clouds with it. Well, that cold front's going to settle on down to the south, down along the Gulf Coast today. High pressure in control with all that dry air. Even with a northwest breeze, temperatures today will be as warm or warmer than yesterday. I'm not looking for any more rain down in New Orleans. Yesterday, under some heavy thunderstorms, the northern part of that city picking up over 7 inches of rain, half of that falling in just 1 hour's time, but there is a potential for more heavy thunderstorms down there later on this afternoon. Our next rainmaker is this cold front that will be approaching us tomorrow. Will not be a factor in our weather tomorrow during the day. Looks like a great day on Wednesday, but then Wednesday night and Thursday, this cold front will push through the region. A chance for scattered thunder showers as it moves on through, perhaps a lingering shower early Thursday, and then somewhat cooler, not really chilly, but somewhat cooler air filtering in for Thursday and Friday. All in all, though, the weather for the rest of this week looks about picture perfect. All right, our forecast for this afternoon, lots of sunshine. Of course, that's the sun that won't be blocked out by the passing moon, you see. Sunny, warm today, 80 degrees our high temperature tonight. Clear and cool, the low temperature of 52. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and a little bit warmer, the high of 83 degrees. There is a chance for scattered thunder showers tomorrow night and perhaps a shower Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon will be partly cloudy and 75. Nice looking day on Friday, 76 degrees. And unfortunately, as we turn the corner, head back into the weekend, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, could be some scattered showers and thunder showers with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s.
Palmer, so have you seen it? You went out and you tried to...
I've been trying to do it.
You've been trying to see it with the, what, the cone?
Yeah, we have a traffic cone out there that I've been trying to use.
Don't try this
Haven't had any success yet. I'm going to go out and see if I can do it now.
With the cardboard. Don't look at the sun, right? Tell everybody.
Do not look at the sun. In fact, the safest way to do it is by watching us.
Watching it on TV, yeah.
For the rest of the hour-long newscast.
Okay, yeah, we'll have more pictures of it in just a moment. Thanks, Ken. Spring is also a time of brush fires, and that's the problem in Arizona today. Officials at Sugado National Monument near Tucson hope to have a 1,200-acre wildfire under control by tomorrow. The blaze started Sunday when a truck engine caught fire. No one was hurt. The east side of the park is closed indefinitely, but the west side remains open. If you're like many of us, you probably think you don't get enough vacation time. Well, coming up, you'll tell you why. That may be truer than you think.
My face said look but don't touch. You know shiny skin. The corn silk is oil-free and oil-absorbing. For beauty so real, you can touch it.
That natural look of corn silk. It's oil-absorbent, not just oil-free.
Mean Joe Green.
Nice Joe Green.
Nice Joe Green. How'd you get to be nice?
Movies and new records. And we want to remind you that if you have any comments about any of the stories that you see here on the News Channel, give us a call. The call-in number is 571-1101. It is on 24 hours a day. And there is still much more to come in our next half hour. Julie Koenig joins me now with a preview. Julie?
Thanks, Jean. Here's what's coming up in our next half hour. There's a lot of fanfare in South Africa today. The reason why? An historic occasion. We'll have the details. Plus, some young musicians assist their professional counterparts with a little financial help. We'll tell you all about that. Our series, Sex or Consequences, continues. We'll show you a program that is aimed at college students. And also ahead, does your birth order affect your personality? We'll have the answer coming up. Jean.
All right, Julie, thank you. And stay tuned here on the News Channel. The News at Noon continues.
This is Kentuckiana's 24-hour news channel, WHAS 11. Now the news continues live at 12:30 from the leader in television news with Julie Koenig. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
We are watching an unusual sight, one we won't see again until the next century. An annular eclipse continues to move toward its peak. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Julie Koenig. The eclipse is just one of our top stories today. Folks all over the country are trying to catch a glimpse of this phenomenon, and one of them is our Chris Turner. He's at U of L's planetarium with more on this unusual vision in the sky. Chris?
Here at Rauch Planetarium, the best way to look at the eclipse is through the reflections here. Bob Cruz, an astronomist with the Louisville Astronomical Society, he's helping me pronounce it there for sure, has the reflection from a special telescope here onto this cardboard. And Bob, tell me about, where do we stand here? About halfway before the peak or what?
We're beyond halfway. I think we're at about 65% coverage right now, and it's proceeding right on schedule. Looks very good.
103, we understand, is the peak time. What would be the occurrences in the sky at 103?
Well, we'll see the sky becoming a darker blue than it is even now. The overall brightness will be decreased quite a bit. It'll be like an approaching sunset. I don't know if we'll have any birds chattering or not, but it'll be just like sunset coming on, and it'll last that way for probably half hour more until it starts brightening up again noticeably.
And we understand it'll be about 2:30 or so, right, when the eclipse is finally finished?
Yes, about 2:30 is when the moon will finish passing in front of the sun.
All right, Bob, thanks. We're going to go to a live picture now from White Sands, New Mexico. And it's very similar to the image that you saw on our reflection here a minute ago. This is about the same area of coverage as Louisville, so there's not much difference at this point between what you would see at White Sands and what you see on the reflections, although it is a mirror image here. Now again, the cardinal rule, don't look directly at the sun. Perhaps this advice is best told by one Rauch Planetarium worker.
All morning long, it's been real interesting. People call in saying, can I photograph it? Can I set up my camera? Can I do this? Can I do that? And you just can't stress enough, don't look directly at the sun. Even if you think, oh, I'm just looking through the camera lens, that's no different than looking through a pair of binoculars or a telescope or any other optical item that you just don't want to do it because God only gave you one set of eyes, and by golly, you better protect them.
And that's certainly good advice, things to remember today. It's been described to us that if your eyes are burned because you do look at it, it's kind of like those TV screens you see at the bank ATMs that have had the words, welcome to so-and-so bank, burned in them too long. Can do that to your vision. Imagine that. Behind me here you can see many of the people who have come to Rauch Planetarium today to view the reflections of this annular eclipse. We'll have an update later in the newscast as we get closer to that peak about 1 o'clock. Julie, back to you.
All right, thanks, Chris. Some really incredible pictures there. Of course, a lot of folks want to know if the skies will stay clear so we can get the best possible view of this, and Ken's going to keep them blue, I hope.
Yeah, I will. I will. In fact, I just walked out into the back parking lot there, and it's a little odd. I mean, it's a bright, clear day, but getting noticeably darker as time goes by. Just about everybody in the country will get a glimpse of this eclipse, not so much in the northwest or down in the southeast, but everybody in between. The dark area, the dark gray area, that's the peak area for this eclipse, this annular eclipse, which takes it from New Mexico and Texas up over St. Louis, northern Indiana, and then on out towards New England later on this afternoon. Here in the Louisville area, about 85% of the sun's surface will be obscured by the passing moon, occurring about 1:03 this afternoon. The whole thing will be over shortly before 3 o'clock, and we will have picture-perfect weather for this afternoon's event. Looks like some nice weather for the rest of the week. I'll have the details on that forecast in a few minutes. Julie?
All right, thank you, Ken. Here are some of our other top stories this afternoon. A champion is moving on. Kentucky Derby winner Gopher Gin left Churchill Downs today. The Chestnut Colt is heading to Baltimore for the Preakness. That race will be held in a week and a half. After that, it could be on to the Belmont for Gopher Gin for the third leg of the Triple Crown race. In Illinois, a serial killer was put to death overnight. John Wayne Gacy was executed by lethal injection. Obviously, these are not pictures of him. He was convicted of killing 33 people. There's Mr. Gacy in the 1970s. Outside the prison, dozens of people cheered the news of his death. And the trial of a man accused of killing his father and brother with a hatchet more than 9 years ago is finally underway. Bobby Brown is on trial for the 1985 murders. He is now mentally competent to stand trial. Prosecutor Joe Gutman says Brown's mother and sister, both of whom were injured in the attack, will testify in his trial. In Illinois, in South Africa today, a different sort of celebration. That country has a new president. It's Nelson Mandela. Mandela took the oath of office today as the nation's first black president. He spent 27 years as a political prisoner before rising to power during the all-race elections.
I, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, do hereby swear to be faithful to the Republic of South Africa.
The thrills have been climbing. The Vampire, the Star Chaser, Hurricane Bay Water Park, Thunder Run, ranked #1 in the world. And now, introducing Mile High Falls, the world's tallest spill run. Feel it all, get it all, do it all with this year's season pass for just $59.95. And there's more. New for '94, the roller skater, a coaster the whole family can enjoy, and the International Carousel. Come on, get all the water, all the rides, all summer long, all for just $59.95. Call or come by the Kingdom. Now open weekends. Kentucky Kingdom, the Thrill Park.
Champion Window and Enclosure Company. Factory direct prices with the quality and service you've trusted for over 41 years. Call Champion now.
Health-wise, why are more and more young people contracting sexually transmitted diseases? Gene West looks at the problem and how some college students have found a unique way to deal with it.
They are, after all, just kids. But these days, more and more young people are playing with trouble.
More kids are experimenting with sex at a younger and younger age. This is the biggest age group that's at tremendous risk. And we know that the number of people we see with infections and pregnancies continues to increase.
The person you're with right now might have HIV.
Even with all the attention on the AIDS epidemic and safe sex, many adolescents and young adults still aren't getting the message about STDs.
I think people know that it's out there, but it's not something that anybody would consider on any given Saturday night going out.
I think the students are aware that the diseases are out there, but I think there's a lot of sense that it really, it won't happen to them.
One of the things that the young are imbued with is a feeling of immortality. And so it's very difficult to get across to them that they may indeed be subject to a life-threatening disease.
Every sexually transmitted disease that exists is here, and that includes AIDS, and that includes human papillomavirus, genital warts, herpes, chlamydia.
But this is how some college students are trying to get the message out. These are sexual health peer educators, students talking to students about sex and STDs, and the need to take responsibility for their sexual behavior.
Hepatitis B is a sexually transmitted disease.
False.
True.
Using games and demonstrations, students interact with each other. And yes, there's giggling and a few jokes, but there's also frank and open talk about a very serious problem. It's something students wouldn't normally get in a typical classroom.
Here, when you're around your friends, it's just everything can flow and it's easier to talk about it.
People will be more involved in the discussion, especially because it's peers and because it's like a smaller group.
But for many young people, simply knowing the facts isn't enough.
Students say, this is great, we need to hear this. But, what happens on Saturday night on the Hill 2 days later, that's, I think, hard to measure.
That's where alcohol and drugs come in. Both can contribute heavily to the spread of STDs among young people.
The conscience is dissolved by alcohol. See a lot of prom weekends where first sexual activity happens, and sometimes both of the people involved afterwards are horrified that they would do such a thing.
I think when students get drunk, they certainly become less inhibited and are more likely to do things that they, let's say, wouldn't do when they were sober, which certainly can lead to indiscriminate sex, unsafe sex.
And the sobering fact is that for more and more young people, the adult world of sexuality gives them much more than they bargained for.
10 to 13 million people a year in this country acquire STDs. The estimate is that about 65% of those are below the age of 24. 2/3.
Now tomorrow we look at the psychological effects of sexually transmitted diseases, plus some treatments and cures. Also on HealthWise today, have you ever wondered how important your birth order is to your personality? Personality experts are studying the effects of being the first, middle, or last-born child in a family, and they're coming up with some surprising results.
Firstborn, you know, they're going to do better in academic domains. You know, middle-born children are going to do better in possibly, you know, with peer relations and stuff like that. Last-born kids, they have an awful lot of, you know, perks.
Firstborn children tend to be professors and professionals. Middle children tend to be more popular, diplomatic, and rebellious. And the last child is the clown of the family. They tend to be comedians. Are you looking for some different ways to use that can of Parmesan cheese? Mr. Food has some neat ideas when we come back.
Congress, the club of career politicians and millionaires. Can they possibly understand our problems? Meet Dolores Delahanty, a community leader who's one of us. She worked with city police to form the Crimes Against Children unit to protect abused children. She helped start Liberty House, a safe, secure home for teenagers. And Delahanty wants a ban on assault weapons and stiffer sentences for violent offenders. So while others talk, Delahanty has been there, working, listening, making a difference in our community.
And now, the new syrup-ready microwave. The syrup fits right in. You just take it out with this stylish heat-resistant.
Introducing Hungry Jack Microwave-Ready Syrup. Since nobody has made a microwave to fit a syrup, we made a syrup to fit a microwave. The label tells you when it's hot, and the handle stays cool. So get the great taste of hot Hungry Jack and reheat it again and again and again.
Only $1,999.
You don't need a new microwave. You just need a new syrup. Hungry Jack.
Skip Cowan holds the same ideals in funeral service as his father did. Treat families the way you would want your family to be treated, with respect, compassion, and honesty. All the funeral directors at Evergreen follow that same vision, checking all the details, making sure the flowers and memorial cards are on perfect display. As funeral directors, they're professional, friendly, waiting to serve families the best way possible. Evergreen Funeral Home, the right combination of people, the right combination of choices, all at one location.
If you're like me, you probably have a can of Parmesan cheese in your refrigerator right now, and you can use it for more than just a topping on your spaghetti. Here's Mr. Food with some ideas.
It's time to name a cheese of the month, and I'm naming one that we've all enjoyed so many times, sometimes without even knowing it. It's Parmesan. It's what we call a hard cheese, and it got hard by aging it and letting the moisture evaporate to get it dry and compact. That's why it's so easy to grate. And as grated, it's the cheese that's on and in so many of our Italian dishes. Like, it's the top texture of baked ziti. It's the smooth spark of our minestrone and all of our cheese fillings. It's the cheese that's on every Italian restaurant table to use as a seasoning. Well, having a somewhat salty tang to it, it's many times used as a flavor enhancer instead of salt, like our Caesar salad. No salt, but lots of Parmesan. Same with our stuffed tomatoes and peppers. They're true home style because of Parmesan. Most of it used to be imported from Italy and ground in specialty stores, but today our supermarkets are freshly grating it and selling it in containers, and most all of it now made right here in the United States in Wisconsin. Great quality for less money. Now, we can buy it in chunks and grate it freshly at the table if we want, or there are also all of the cans and bottles of Parmesan, one of which should always be in the house for whatever you'll need or want Parmesan for. Holds up in the fridge for months. Yes, the brands are up to you, but just pick your favorite. And with all the sales on it this month, all the better to, ooh, it's so good.
If you skip breakfast, you are not alone. 12% of Americans skip breakfast every day, and 17% of us only drink some sort of beverage, whether it's coffee, tea, juice, or even cola. Of those of us who do eat something, most items are either cold cereal, muffins, bagels, or toast. Well, once the eclipse ends, what will our weather be like? Ken Schultz will have the forecast next, plus the latest on the eclipse when the news at noon continues.
I'm tired of politicians talking about crime. It
It's time to do something.
And Charlie Owen has. A former federal prosecutor, he put violent criminals behind bars and served 3 governors as the first director of the Kentucky Crime Commission, improving police pay and training and strengthening the state crime code.
It isn't enough to talk tough. To fight crime, we need more cops, more jails, and longer sentences.
Charlie Owen for Congress.
If your kids are participating in the WHAS 11 and Kroger Video Gold Setters program at school, they have a chance to win a week-long trip to the U.S. Space Camp in Alabama, courtesy of Bluegrass Coca-Cola. This incredible trip for 4 Gold Setters will give the kids a taste of life in space. The U.S. Space Camp trip includes round-trip airfare on Delta Airlines, official airline of the U.S. Space Camp. Also, tuition, meals, and other accommodations will be provided. The 4 Gold Setter winners will be chosen at the end of the school year. WHAS 11 and Kroger Video Gold Setters is sponsored in part by Bluegrass Coca-Cola.
It's every pool owner's nightmare. Green water. Owning a pool should be fun, not work. Chlorine-free Aquasil is easy to use.
Using Aquasil means you're going to be spending more time doing the things you like, because you only have to add it every 2 weeks.
We all like Aquasil, and you will too. Try Aquasil, the pool sanitizer that'll give you the clearest, softest pool water you've ever seen or felt.
See your nearest Aquasil dealer today.
Hamburger Helper gives you 4 great ways to serve.
Whoa! Slap, slap, slap it, Joe. Slap, slap, slap it, Joe. Barbecue. Hamburger Helper. It's not your average Joe.
Great salads here.
But try it with Bacos.
Bacos?
Better?
Oh, my. Oh, I am in love.
Cholesterol-free Bacos makes every bite better.
Ken Schultz's weather has the seal of approval of the American Meteorological Society.
The WHAS 11 Storm Team. Meteorologists Chuck Taylor, Ken Schultz, and Ashley Chisholm. The WHAS 11 Storm Team.
Hey, you heard about the man on the moon or the man in the moon. How about the man in the sunshine? Well, that's pretty much what you're seeing right here. This is the view from White Sands, New Mexico. Wouldn't be too bad, but that's an awfully sharp point. Listen, everybody, you do your own punchlines, okay? All right, looks like the Eclipse is moving out of the White Sands area. About a half hour ago, much more of the sun was obscured. And while they're moving past peak, we are moving into peak here in the Louisville area. All right, let's take a look at the satellite picture and show you what's been happening over the last 12 hours. We had a cold front come through yesterday evening, brought a band of clouds with it. We had some scattered clouds around here this morning, but we have cleared out nicely in the Ohio Valley just in time for the eclipse. The showers and thunderstorms and all the clouds pretty much ringing us, but not a factor in our weather for the next couple of days. Showers and thunderstorms will be widespread across the Gulf of Mexico. Some heavy thunderstorms firing up right now in Texas, and it's this area of the country that could be under the gun with some severe weather later on this afternoon. But as you can see, you don't have hardly a cloud in the sky. It is dry here in Kentuckiana and will remain dry through the day tomorrow, but maybe tomorrow night we could see more showers and thunder showers. 73 degrees right now, 27% humidity. It is dry. We have a northwest breeze at 9, and the pressure is rising at 30.12. Yesterday's high 75. This morning's low temperature was 52, and no precipitation has occurred the past 24 hours. Again, expecting none through the day tomorrow. A stretch of nice weather. Finally, high pressure in control. We have a northwest breeze. Normally that would bring us some cooler temperatures, but not the case. That air is so dry, and well, we're looking for more sunshine as the afternoon progresses, and that will warm us up to or above yesterday's levels. Showers and thunderstorms, as I mentioned, will be widespread along the Gulf Coast. They don't need any more rain in New Orleans. They picked up about 7 inches yesterday, but could see some more thunderstorms there today. This cold front is our next weather producer here in the Louisville area. As it approaches us tomorrow, it could spread some clouds over us late in the day, but I think any showers and thunder showers that will occur with this cold front will occur tomorrow night, perhaps early Thursday. Once that passes, somewhat cooler but drier air will move in for the end of the week. By somewhat cooler, instead of temperatures in the 80s, we'll see temperatures in the 70s. But tomorrow, I think we'll see definitely temperatures in the low to mid 80s out ahead of that cold front. By Thursday and Friday, we'll be back into the 70s. Again, a stretch of nice weather. Our forecast for this afternoon, sunshine. High up around 80 degrees for tonight, clear and cool. Our low temperature of 52. Now tomorrow, under mostly sunny skies with perhaps some clouds filtering in late in the day, we'll see our high temperature top out around 83 degrees. There's a chance for some scattered thunder showers tomorrow night and perhaps a shower Thursday morning, then partly cloudy Thursday afternoon. high 75 degrees. Friday looks good and 76. Unfortunately, as we get on into the weekend, maybe Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, we'll stand another chance for some showers and thunder showers. But at least starting off the weekend, it'll be mild with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s.
Well, I've always called you Mr. Sunshine, Ken.
Thank you very much. By the way, another way of viewing the eclipse, if you don't have all the cardboard and all that other good stuff, if you go out underneath a leafing tree, a tree that has the leaves out already, and look down on the ground at the sun coming through those leaves, you'll see all these little mini reflections or whatever, pictures of the eclipsed sun.
All right, thanks for the tip.
Another way.
That's why we have
And
it
it's
here.
safe to view that way, too.
Okay, thanks, Ken. When we come back, we'll go back to U of L's planetarium for another view of the eclipse from Kentuckiana. But first, another look from White Sands, New Mexico.
Most people read about him, catch a glimpse of him, or maybe even snap a photo of him. He's Jack Welch, CEO for GE, and he never talks to television reporters. But he talked to Doug Prophet. The news channel is the only station who could give you this exclusive interview, which gave GE employees and their families some very good news.
Blind spot, from everything I see, is going to be around for as long as the eye can see.
Keep watching Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
Your Health Today, presented by WHAS 11 and the Women's Pavilion Health and Resource Center. Learning that you have a suspicious lump in your breast is anxiety enough. Waiting for surgical biopsy only prolongs the worry. But a new technique can spare you that trauma.
With stereotactic guidance, a biopsy needle is directed precisely to the lump. Small samples of tissue are taken, then analyzed for an accurate diagnosis.
This advanced technique can ease the anxiety over biopsy in a number of ways. It is a non-surgical procedure. Only a local anesthetic is required. There is no scarring. Recovery is almost immediate, and it can usually be scheduled promptly. Breast cancer remains a real concern, but stereotactic biopsy can help reduce the trauma of diagnosing it. For more information, call the Women's Pavilion Health and Resource Center at the Alliant Medical Pavilion, 629-7000.
Well, you know, it's that time of year again, the time to get your lawn and garden in shape. And there's no better place to start than Jacoby Sales and Service. Jacoby handles a full line of Cub Cadet lawn and garden tractors with all the attachments you'll ever need. So go with Jacoby, the experts for 65 years, and Cub Cadet, American-made and built to last. At Jacoby Sales and Service, with 4 locations, there's one near you.
We are less than 10 minutes away from the peak of the solar eclipse here in Kentuckiana. Chris Turner joins us once again from the Routh Planetarium with more on this momentous occasion. Chris.
Julie, it's really kind of eerie. Just in the last couple of minutes, it's as if I put my sunglasses on. But as you can see, I'm not wearing my sunglasses. We're nearing the peak of the annular eclipse here in Louisville, which would be about 85% of the sun covered. You can see the reflection on the telescope here as the planetarium worker adjusts the reflection here just a little bit. What you're seeing there is actually a mirror image of what's happening. Now we're going to go now to a live picture from White Sands, New Mexico. White Sands, New Mexico is past the peak now, meaning that most of the sun has been covered and it's now starting to slowly uncover. The peak is what's coming up again here to Louisville in just a few minutes. Now back here live, the Routh Planetarium, a lot of folks lined up here. Let's take a look. This is a special telescope with the filters that do allow you to look at the eclipse without harming your vision. And look back here, you can see a line of about 30 to 35 people, all waiting to get their peek at what really is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, perhaps, this annular eclipse. And again, the cardinal rule, do not look directly at the eclipse. Use that cardboard and pinhole method, or use a reflection, or look at it here on TV. Back to you, Julie.
All right, thanks a lot, Christian. We'll have much more on this tonight, starting at 5 o'clock. Ken joins us for a final check of the forecast.
It is a great afternoon, and I can't emphasize enough the same thing, Chris. You don't look up at it. Look at anything down, you know, using the projection.
And by all means, don't sit on it either.
That hurts, let me tell you. It may never be the same. Here's our forecast for this afternoon. Sunshine, 80 degrees tonight. Clear and cool. Our low down to 52. Very nice sleeping night coming up. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, warmer. The high 83 degrees. Some thunder showers tomorrow night. Chance for a shower.